We're just 2 days away from Christmas, and some seniors are scrambling to find affordable housing after the apartment complex they had been living at changed hands and abruptly raised the rent. So what can you do if your parents or you end up in a situation like this? Well, 11 News reporter Jenna Middaugh went to leaders in our community and explains what she found out in this 11 Call for Action investigation.
Seniors who live at Taylor Apartments in central Colorado Springs tell me the complex has been 55 plus since it was built in 1964. Well, this year it was sold and the new owners opened up the apartment complex to people of all ages and raised the rent for some seniors who have been living there for years.
I've been at this apartment complex 11 years.
And those have been some of the best years of Calvin Newton's life.
I have the most beautiful view of Pikes Peak every morning, and I would stay here forever. I figured I'd be here forever.
But then
it was just completely changed, no warning.
New owners came in with new rules, including this 22-page lease.
When that lease came out and the notice came out of the rent being raised, there were people who were living here already for a couple of decades. They panicked out. It was traumatic for them.
Jim Anderson says his rent went from $600 a month to $850. Others were asked to pay nearly $1,000. But some seniors say they can't afford that on their fixed income, so for now, they aren't paying that new amount.
I'm fighting this.
Some people who live here, though, can't do that. Diana Forrest tells me she qualifies for Section 8 housing. That means she gets money from the government to help cover part of her rent.
Section 8 won't approve the hike in the rent amount, so I can't live here.
She's already planning to move out by the end of January, but hasn't found a new place to live yet.
I bought a car that I can camp in.
That's a reality many seniors are facing: homelessness.
It's more difficult for them to absorb these kinds of doubling, in some cases tripling of their rent when they've been on one price for so long.
Derek Wilson works at Silver Key, an organization that supports senior citizens. That group stepped up and helped pay rent and moving costs for some of the seniors who live at Taylor Apartments. But he says this help is just a Band-Aid, and the community needs a long-term solution: more affordable housing.
There is just not enough.
Right now, there's approximately 21 low-income senior-only housing complexes in El Paso County, but the wait lists
3 to 5 years long.
That's according to Melissa Martz, who works at the Pikes Peak Area Agency on Aging. She says this year alone, 2 other senior-only complexes converted to allow renters of all ages. That's in addition to what's happening at Taylor Apartments.
I do think that complexes are going to continue to flip as they realize they can charge a higher rent for a different group of people that they're renting to.
You can't stop private enterprise. You can't stop people from buying a building or from an owner to sell. But we hope that people can be very careful and humane about how they treat the tenants that are really struggling right now.
Colorado Springs City Council President Richard Scorman has been working with the people who live at Taylor Apartments. He helped pull together funding to create a position at Silver Key to support impacted seniors. His goal is for the city to be better prepared if this were to happen again, but he's also hoping to prevent companies from flipping senior-only housing, or at least give the tenants more time to figure out their next steps.
I've tasked the city attorneys to really start to look at that.
For now, the seniors who live at Taylor Apartments feel somewhat protected because of state and federal moratoriums on eviction. But the federal one is set to expire at the end of the year unless the government extends it.
I don't know where we go from here.
I did reach out to the new owners of Taylor Apartments. They wouldn't talk to me on camera, but said they understand the tenants' concerns and are doing what they can to work with them. If you end up in a situation like this, or your parents do, you can call Silver Key. That information is on our website, and I will continue to check in with Council President Richard Scorman to see if any permanent solution can be reached to help seniors in our community. Jenna Middaugh, KKTV 11 Call for Action.